The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
I just have to say this once again for everybody that's watching. This is Karen Hughes, the former senior counselor for the World Bank, 20 years in the World Bank. She's not some raving lunatic. This is a well-educated individual at the Ivy League school, Yale. I think we need to listen. Go ahead, my sister.
When the CIA was set up, it was set up with a special job to guard the world's gold. There's a lot more gold than people know about 3 or 4 times what people are officially told.
Right.
And a lot of this gold is on deposit all over the world. There's 170,000 tons in the Bank of Hawaii. That's more than people say is in existence on Earth already. Yeah?
Right.
And the CIA was set up to guard that gold.
Wow.
It wasn't even supposed to be for the United States alone. It was supposed to be for that special purpose. But they lost their way, the CIA.
Well, at least, why doesn't the CIA at least spank the Jesuits on their hands? What's the situation with that?
Because the Jesuits are in charge of the CIA.
Wow. That's a big revelation there. Wow, you've said so much. I'm going to continue on this line because you made mention of Lincoln and him actually moving in the right direction for our country, issuing greenbacks, and because of that, he ended up in a casket. Then you have JFK, and he was trying to move our nation back in the right direction as well. Interesting enough, first Catholic president, and he ended up body bagged. So what about all of their successors, if I can say it that way? Is it that the presidents thereafter fell in line? Is Obama falling in line? Let's just get right to the punch. Is Obama falling in line with the whole agenda, or is he pushing at it anyway? What's your take on that?
Unfortunately, he's not in a position. His wife is being blackmailed.
How so?
Because she has
wow.
In a what they call honeytrap. She has been compromised. A hotel with 2-way mirrors.
I know what a honeytrap is. Wow. Wow,
And there are other things involving him. You know, his mother was a CIA agent, and he was raised. In a way that made him a person who would trap people with honey traps. That was his mother's job in the CIA, to entrap people in hotels.
Wow, that was a huge bomb.
I have one that's even worse.
I'm listening.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I believe it was the 8th of October, there was supposed to be a nuclear bomb detonated on South Carolina. And 2 Army generals made sure that bomb went off the coast, 600 miles off the coast, and detonated undersea. And those military officers were fired. And now, at this point, there are about 180 generals and brass that are being fired. And these are the people that are protecting the citizens of the United States.
And a good evening to you on this Friday night, and we start with a developing story, a shakeup at the highest levels of the U.S. military. A top general in charge of nuclear weapons fired, and this comes 48 hours after another top military commander was dismissed. ABC's chief global affairs correspondent Martha Raddatz has been talking to her sources all day, has the very latest on what's happening right now. Martha.
Diane, these officers have some of the highest security clearances you can get and have been in charge of the nation's most sensitive nuclear arsenals.
A stunning chain of events. Today,
Michael Perry, the two-star general responsible for the nation's 3 intercontinental ballistic missile wings, fired from his command. The reason? Personal misbehavior on a military business trip. This comes just 48 hours after President Obama himself relieved the number 2 in command over the nation's nuclear arsenal over his suspected use of counterfeit poker chips. These follow an alarming string of general officers losing their jobs this year for inappropriate behavior, misconduct, or lack of leadership. 2 Marine Corps generals fired less than 2 weeks ago for not providing proper force protection in Afghanistan. An Army Brigadier General relieved of duty for adultery. An Army 2-star general fired for groping a civilian. And in March, a Navy 1-star removed for racially insensitive comments and abusive leadership. Last spring, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff was so concerned about all the high-profile cases, he sent a letter to Pentagon brass urging a recommitment to ethical leadership.
And that's why they're being removed.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.